My stepmother, Susan, orchestrated our lives like a conductor wielding a baton over a discordant orchestra. Her color-coded calendar a testament to her obsession with control. She wrote a book proclaiming our blended family as a beacon of perfection, a shining example for others to follow. But behind the curated facade, we 6 kids ran a secret Discord server called Surviving Susan, a digital rebellion where we plotted our survival in a house suffocated by her delusions. The breaking point came when I refused to let her use my late mother's chipped mixing bowl for her cookbooks, photoshoot a sacred relic of cookie dough, mornings with mom. Susan's response was chilling. She tried to ship me off to a therapeutic boarding school, her smile as sharp as a blade. What she didn't know was that her perfect blended family was a house of cards, and we 6 kids were ready to blow it down. Growing up, I thought every household had a refrigerator plastered with a color-coded calendar. Each day a different hue dictating our lives. Monday glowed blue for Jake's lacrosse practice, the air thick with his sweaty gear. Tuesday shimmered green for Mia's dance rehearsals, her poink shoes tapping like a metronome. Wednesday pulsed purple for Ethan's tutoring, his small frame hunched over math sheets. Thursday burned red for Emma's violin lessons, the notes soaring through the walls. Friday blazed yellow for my soccer games, the grass stains on my shins a badge of freedom. Saturday radiated orange for Noah's art classes, his fingers smudged with charcoal. Sundays, though, were Susan's masterpiece mandatory family time. 8 of us crammed around a table built for 6, her smile as brittle as the salad bowl she passed. To her, we were her beautiful bunch, a tableau of harmony. To us, it was a performance we'd perfected, our laughter sharp as shattered glass. I was 9 when Mom died, her absence a quiet ache in our home. For 2 years, it was just Dad, Emma, Noah, and me, simple, raw, real. Then Dad met Susan at grief counseling, and our world detonated. She swept in with her 3 kids, Jake my age, with a smirk that hid his resentment, MIA 13, her eyes always scanning for escape, and Ethan 7, clinging to a stuffed dinosaur. 6 kids stuffed into a 4-bedroom house felt like a pressure cooker. The mantle, once home to 3 framed photos, now groaned under 23. Each one a lie Susan staged. By 12, I'd begun to notice the silences between us kids, a choreography of avoidance so precise it was almost art. Emma vanished to the bathroom when Mia entered the kitchen, her footsteps a deliberate retreat. Jake's smile froze into a grimace when I spoke, his eyes cold as winter frost. Sunday dinners were a military operation. No adjacent seats, no shared dishes, no direct eye contact. Susan beamed, calling us the most organized children in the world. Our laughter, forced and jagged, echoed like a warning dot. By 13, I'd mapped the invisible battle lines in our house. The basement rec room, where Jake accidentally erased my video game saves weekly, was a war zone. The kitchen island, where Mia strategically spread her homework to block Emma's breakfast spot, was a minefield. The bathroom cabinet, where someone's toothpaste kept migrating to the guest bath, was a silent skirmish. I thought we were just adjusting, but Susan called it beautiful chaos, her voice dripping with self-congratulation. My sister Emma, sharp-eyed and fearless, taught me to see the truth. Notice how Jake's suddenly allergic to our laundry detergent, she whispered, her voice low like a conspirator. Or how Mia gets migraines when we try to watch Mom's favorite movie. We, 6 kids, had built an intricate system to avoid each other while propping up Susan's fantasy of unity. Susan's 40th birthday party was a masterclass in passive-aggressive warfare disguised as celebration. The kitchen buzzed with tension as we prepped her cake, each move a calculated strike. Emma used the last of the vanilla extract Mia needed, her smile too sweet to be innocent. Jake hid the good mixer when he saw me reaching for it, his grin a challenge. Noah accidentally knocked over Ethan's decorating supplies, scattering sprinkles like shrapnel. By evening, we presented 6 separate desserts, each one a masterpiece of spite my lopsided cupcakes. Next to me is 2 macarons, Emma's tart beside Jake's uneven brownies. Susan clapped her hands, oblivious, gushing. My babies all wanted to make me something special. Her voice was a saccharine veneer over the truth. We were soldiers in a cold war, and she was the dictator we despised. The real unraveling began at 15, when I borrowed Mia's laptop to print an essay and stumbled onto Surviving Susan. All 6 kids were members, even little Ethan, his username a heartbreaking Dynaboy7. The server stretched back 3 years, born from Jake's rage after Susan's first family bonding camping trip, where she forced us into shared tents, Our sleeping bags, a tangle of resentment. The messages were raw, unfiltered, real-time bathroom schedules to avoid confrontations, warnings about Susan's mood swings, countdown timers to the end of her forced family activities. The Exit Strategies channel made my heart race. Jake counting days to college, Mia mapping summer escapes to relatives, Emma researching early graduation, Noah hiding boarding school brochures, Ethan asking about sleepaway camps. But the things we can't say channel broke me. Emma confessed to wanting to scream when Susan hummed in Mom's kitchen. Noah admitted he could barely remember Mom's voice, drowned out by Susan's grating laugh. Jake's 2 a.m. post seared into me. I know it's not your fault your mom died, but I hate you all for existing in my house. That night at dinner, I watched our performance with new eyes. Susan spun her favorite tale of our blessed family, her voice a syrupy vim. Emma's knuckles whitened around her fork. Jake stared at his plate like it held the key to freedom. Mia's eye twitched at every mention of family. Noah sketched escape routes on his napkin, and Ethan, barely 10, had mastered a theft stare. Susan's dream was a prison, built on the backs of 6 kids, who'd sacrificed their authenticity to maintain her delusion. She believed we'd chosen this bond, blind to the truth. She was the chain binding 6 traumatized children, forcing us to perform happiness while we counted days like inmates. When Susan announced her book about our journey, I felt the walls close in. She wanted to teach other blended families how to achieve our harmony. 2 weeks later, during her staged family cooking day for the book's photo shoot, she reached for Mom's vintage mixing bowl, the one with the tiny chip from when I was 5, the one Mom used for Christmas cookies. Its curves holding memories of her laughter. She handed it to Ethan, instructing him to smile for the new family traditions chapter. The words tore from my throat before I could stop them. That's not yours. The kitchen froze. Susan's smile flickered like a dying bulb. The photographer's camera clicked, capturing my rage. Her confusion, Ethan's small hands clutching the bowl like a shield. I kept going, my voice shaking but unstoppable, recounting how Mom let me lick the cookie dough from that bowl, how it was hers, not Susan's to claim. Emma's hand found my shoulder, her whispered stop laced with solidarity. Jake's thumbs flew across his phone, his face a mask. Mia's finger tapped her screen, capturing Susan's rage before her mask snapped back into place. Susan dismissed the photographer with forced cheer, her voice cracking like thin ice. Dad appeared, coffee mug frozen mid-sip, demanding answers. Susan spun a tale of hormones and grief, painting me as the troubled teen, resisting her love. The other kids stayed silent, their neutrality a practiced art. Dad sent me to cool off, his tone heavy with avoidance. In the garage slumped against his workbench, Noah showed me his phone. Surviving Susan was ablaze. It's happening. Jake's play-by-play of the confrontation, Mia's screenshot of Susan's unmasked fury, Ethan's finally in all caps. Emma joined us, her phone revealing a hidden folder of evidence, curated Facebook posts versus our grim reality. The spontaneous game night that took 3 hours of threats to stage. The Thanksgiving, where we were in separate rooms despite her claims of togetherness. A video from her birthday showing 6 kids with hostage-like smiles dot through the garage window. We watched Susan gather Jake, Mia, and Ethan in the living room. Real family, excluding us. Her gestures were wild, pointing toward the garage, her voice a muffled storm. The next morning, breakfast was a minefield. Susan announced family therapy, but only I got a solo slot, branded as the problem child. Emma's spoon clattered. Noah's pencil froze. Jake's jaw tightened. At school, the counselor, Mrs. Peterson, pulled me aside, her face a mask of concern. Susan had called, whispering about my violent outbursts and instability. The word hung like poison. Jake cornered me at lunch, his usual iciness thawed. She's running this house like a corporate merger nobody signed up for, he said, revealing Susan's panic over the photographer's Instagram post of the kitchen clash. Comments were flooding in, questioning her perfect family narrative. After school, Susan's car pulled up, and she looked through Usama, Noah, and me, leaving us to walk home in the freezing rain, Emma's violin case slamming against her leg. Mrs. Chen, our neighbor, stopped me, her voice low. Susan had asked her to watch me for concerning behavior, implying I was a threat to the younger kids. Mrs. Chen's skeptical glance at Noah and Emma said she wasn't buying it. That night, I found my Netflix profile erased, years of history wiped clean, a digital guillotine. Emma showed me a draft email Susan had accidentally CC'd her. Asterisk chapter 12. When love isn't enough, Dealing with a troubled stepchild asterisk. My name appeared 17 times, the villain in her story. Dinner became psychological warfare. Susan missed portions, leaving me without food. Dad pushed his plate toward me. I pushed it back. Mia slid me a granola bar under the table, her face unreadable as Susan preached about boundaries. Later, Ethan, in dinosaur pajamas, whispered that Susan had spent an hour on the phone, using words like documentation and patterns of behavior. Her social media turned vicious. A family photo with me cropped out, captioned, "Protecting my babies from negative energy. Sometimes love means hard choices." Comments poured in, concerned and clueless. In the car with Dad, alone, for the first time in years, I showed him surviving Susan's existence. His face cycled through shock, guilt, and something unreadable. "How long have you all been pretending?" he asked. "Since the beginning," I said. That night, Jake slipped a note under the bathroom door. Asterisk, "She's looking for boarding schools in Utah. Watch your back." J asterisk. Susan's escalation was clear. She was building a case to exile me. Her therapy appointment for me clashed with Emma's violin recital, a deliberate sabotage. I chose Emma. Susan's smile tightened. Her phone calls grew louder. Dr. Thompson's questions were traps, twisting my grief into pathology. I kept my answers clipped, her pen scratching in frustration. Noah's sketchbook became our archive of pain, 3 years of drawings depicting our divided family. Invisible walls at dinner. Marionette strings in Susan's hands. Ethan rebelled, refusing to confirm Susan's lies about my behavior. Jake, unsettled by his brother's defiance, joined me in printing Discord logs, hiding copies in the garage rafters. Mom's jewelry box, and a buried backyard bag, Emma's anonymous blog about toxic positivity exploded. Her post about grieving mothers erased by stepfamily demands striking a chord online. I recorded Susan at her book club, her crocodile tears painting me as a danger. Grandma called, confused by Susan's claims about my behavior, promising to talk to Dad. Susan's provocations grew. Boulder Grief Camp brochures on my pillow. Mental health check-ins during homework. Comments about Mom's death laced with venom. I documented every word in a notebook, my calm infuriating her. When she demanded to see it, I lied. Dr. Thompson said to journal my feelings. The family reunion loomed, a threat to Susan's narrative. She demanded a public apology for the mixing bowl incident, knowing my cousins would see through her. Mia's confession in the kitchen was a bombshell. Susan had done this before, painting her first husband as unstable to control the narrative. The pattern was repeating. At book club, Susan's mask slipped, calling me an ungrateful brat in front of her friends. The silence was deafening. 2 days later, she cornered me in the laundry room, offering an ultimatum: apologize, support her book, attend therapy, or face residential treatment. Her triumphant smile held 3 brochures for troubled teens. In Emma's car, we 6 kids formed a war council. Jake revealed Susan had spent her book advance on renovations, her desperation tied to financial ruin. Our strategy was simple: no more pretending, no fake smiles, no staged photos, no performed harmony. We'd be ourselves, shattering her delusion. At dinner, we defied Susan's seating chart. Jake sat beside me, Mia next to Emma, Ethan between Noah and me. Susan's eyes darted, her control slipping. Dad noticed his confusion palpable as real conversations replaced her script. Neighbors began whispering, Mrs. Chen about Susan's strange calls, others about her screaming at me. The publisher demanded a family interview, Susan's worst nightmare. Ethan's teacher raised concerns after he drew 2 dinner tables pushed together, exposing our divided reality. I took the blame to protect him, feeding Susan's narrative while earning his trust. Our rebellion grew bolder. We wore clashing colors for photos, mingled bio and stepkids, smiled naturally. Susan's attempts to divide us, Phil Jake refused to shop without me. Mia invited Emma and Noah to her special dinner. Ethan called us his real siblings. The explosion came when Dad overheard Susan's kitchen tirade, accusing me of destroying her family. His shock turned to clarity as she stammered. Mrs. Chen's book club meeting exposed Susan's lies. Neighbors sharing stories of her. The counselor's report confirmed our misery, recommending neutral therapy. Susan's book deadline loomed, her laptop cursor mocking her blank pages. Her social circle shrank as parents distanced themselves. I stayed calm, documenting her provocations, refusing to play villain. Dad halted the book, prioritizing healing. Susan's rage accused him of weakness, but the evidence we presented: Discord logs, Noah's sketches, Emma's photos, neighbor statements was undeniable. Susan postponed the book, her dream crumbling. Her blog about troubled stepchildren was dismantled by our comments, screenshots spreading like wildfire. Susan's attempts to divide us backfired. Jake, Mia, and Ethan chose to stay, rejecting her custody threats. Her confession in therapy revealed her desperation to prove herself after her first marriage's failure. Jake's admission of his own misery, followed by Mia and Ethan's defiance, shattered her control. The financial blow her spent advance sealed her defeat. Dad initiated separation, and on moving day, Susan's last grab for the mixing bowl was met with my quiet surrender. I handed it to her, wrapped in newspaper. Knowing my memories of Mom lived beyond objects, her departure wasn't victory, but freedom. The house breathed easier. Jake claimed the basement, deleting surviving Susan for a new server of real connection. Mia stayed, bonding with Emma. Ethan learned to express himself through Noah's art. Dad cooked with us, meals messy, but honest. The color-coded calendar came down, replaced by a whiteboard of notes and jokes. Ethan called me brother, the word a quiet earthquake. Susan's distant manipulations, blogs, gifts, custody, threats faded against our new reality. We 6 kids, once enemies became allies, then siblings. Forged in the crucible of surviving Susan. Our house wasn't perfect, but it was ours, built on truth, not fantasy. Thanks for reading this story with me. I hope it resonated and I wish you a wonderful day. See you next time.